yes, one more benefit check, and then that's when the fun begins. All I can say is I'm so thankful that that was some time and some relief that I wasn't counting on. So don't get me wrong, I'd never complain. And the government at large, society at large, cannot keep paying people, you know, indefinitely while they're unemployed. It's just that, you know, I mean, like, let's be real. It's not something that can be done. It's not something that should be done. It's a relief program, and that's one of the reasons that I personally refuse to call it entitlement, because it's something that is temporary. It's made crystal clear that it's temporary, and it's a stopgap, and there is nothing in this world wrong with society providing a stopgap. And I'm referring to all the fools out there who do nothing but piss and moan about America being a socialist nation. Things like stopgap and programs like that, temporary benefits, are no indication whatsoever of a socialist nation. We do have a lot of socialist programs, so I'm not saying that we don't have symptoms. But as far as us being a quote-unquote socialist country like Venezuela, Greece, Argentina, Brazil, it ain't that way. Anyway, job prospects still 5 to 10 job applications a week. It's just bad. And I'm hearing in the news media, because I listen to a combination, let me rephrase that. I don't listen to anybody because I don't trust anybody. Even the alternative media people. They doctor things up the same way as the mainstream media, and the only difference between the two is the direction that it's doctored up. But I do want the clearest all-around picture that I can get, and that's why I do listen to people like, I'm more inclined to believe people like John Williams at shadowstats.com, who uses the formula that this nation used to gauge unemployment and gross domestic product for the last probably 75 years, until the 1980s, when politicians figured out by omitting a lot of the truth. That's one thing I find very amusingly hypocritical of the government, is they sit there and one of their favorite terms is lies by omission. Well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. So I try to listen to people who would gauge data by tried and true methods, and that's John Williams. So when he's sitting there saying that we have between 23 and 25% unemployment, number one, I believe it from experience. That is what I'm experiencing. If we had the 4% unemployment in Texas like the bald-faced liars say that we do, I would find a job in 5 minutes, especially with my background. It's been almost 6 months since I left my job, and not one serious inquiry, and every week between 5 to 10 job applications, and I've documented every one. So for me not to have even had a serious inquiry, not one, that tells me that there's no such reality in this entire nation as a 4 to 5% unemployment. And everybody knows that the federal government lies about employment figures to keep from having to pay higher Social Security higher Social Security rate. I'm specifically talking about the inflation numbers, but see, what brought on that 2-year, the 99-week unemployment thing was high unemployment. Well, they've lied about it every way they can to get it down where they don't have to pay that anymore. And I'm not saying that they should. I'm simply saying you can't trust anything that comes out of a government official's or bureaucrat's mouth. Anyway, the job picture is terrible, horrible. Anyway, what my point of all that dissertation was simply that John Williams and those types of people are saying it's getting worse, not better, and I absolutely believe that. And here's the interesting thing that backs that up, is that now you're hearing the mainstream media say the same thing, only they try to stay within the parameters of the 4 to 5% unemployment, but they admit that it's creeping up. All I got to say is, anytime that something comes out of the mainstream media, who's in bed with the government, which that is a fascist state, you can count on it being a lot worse than it's being admitted to. So by the fact that I find it interesting that the mainstream media is saying, yes, it's getting worse, inflation's getting worse, gross domestic product is going down. For them to be admitting that is all the proof I need that what the alternative media is saying is much more correct. Anyway, so we go ahead with, I'm gonna, when the benefits end, that doesn't mean I'm gonna keep documenting, and I'll probably stay at that same pace, but I'm gonna be documenting the 5 to 10, maybe even more job applications a week. And just because this whole project is about, it's a record of this period in my life, so I want it to stay accurate and reflective of how things are right now. One day they'll get better, and that would be my words of encouragement to anybody that hears these words, is it'll get better. We're about to go through a very dark time. We're going through it now. A lot of people have been hurting bad since the recession started in 2007. And a lot of people are going to be hurt a lot worse. So all you can do, it's all any of us can do, is keep on keeping on. Like I say, press forward. Anyway, that's it for now. If more comes up worth talking about, I'll talk about it.